Hey, Dan here from Hamina Wireless. Just want to take 2 seconds to show you the cable trays and cable risers feature that we have within the tool, so that you can see how you might be able to use those in your projects as well. Okay, so let's take a quick look. We've got this building here, we've got a bunch of floors. I'm only interested in floor 4, 3, 2 and 1 today, but I know, for instance, that on floor 2, this is where the IT team have got their IDF. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to choose the IDF. I can see that we had one placed previously, that's fine. We're going to place 3 switches in there, 24 ports each, with 1200 watts of power. So that's going to go in this closet here. Now, as you can see, as I place that, because the APs have got this connect via Ethernet to the nearest device. Now I can choose from a specific floor, I could put a mesh in if I wanted to, but because they're set to the nearest device, basically what happens is every AP now just routes its cable as quickly as it can with, least amount of fuss into that thing. But this looks crazy messy, right? And we can turn this off. If we just want to know kind of a rough thing, that's fine. We can turn that off so that it's not as messy. But what we can do is we can actually place down some cable trays. So I know, for instance, that this building has got cable trays in the corridors here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that my magnet distance is set to an appropriate length. So about 10 meters would be perfect for this building. So I'm just going to place it through here. And the magnet distance, what that does is that just says, okay, any device that's inside that magnet distance, suck the cable in as fast as it can, shortest route possible into that tray. So we've got that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce my magnet distance right down to say 2 meters. And then I'm going to do the cable tray from the main cable tray into the IDF. Now the reason why I do that smaller, that magnet distance for this run here, is because I don't want it to pick up some of these APs, these ones, because then they'll divert into there rather than into that cable tray there. Let me show you that on the 4th floor, because it'll probably be a bit easier if there's fewer cables around. So let's go to the cable trays. I'm going to set my magnet distance again to 10 meters. So I'll do that, and then again I'll run it around the corridor that you've got here. And that goes in fine, and then I'll reduce it down again to 2 meters. Now what you'll notice is none of these APs are routing through into the cable trays. And the reason why is because if they go into the cable trays, there's nowhere for the cable to come out so that they can get down into that one IDF that we've got. So you can see here the IDF is on an adjacent floor. It's on floor 2. It's down further than an adjacent floor even. So what it's doing is it's saying actually the fastest route is for these APs to just go direct to that switch. So what we've added in now is this idea of cable risers. Now, again, what I can do is I can choose whether that's a cable riser that's just to the floor above, just to the floor below, to both above and below, or just actually goes all the way through. So for instance, this cable riser goes all the way through the building. So if I click that, now you'll notice that all the APs divert their cables into the cable tray, because now they've got a nice, easy way of getting down through the 3rd floor, down through into there, and then into the 2nd floor. Right, so you can see that they're kind of coming through here and then into that IDF. Okay, so let's go up to the 3rd floor. Let's add the cable trays into there. So again, I'll set my magnet distance to be a decent distance, say 10 meters. Again, this one just runs all the way around the corridor, so I can just click these through. And what's nice is they snap, right? So you can see where you're going to. I'm going to bring that cable tray magnet distance down, and then we're going to run from the cable tray to the riser. And again, you can see now what happens is all these APs join into the cable tray, they hit the riser, and then you can see this kind of black dashed line goes down to the IDF on the floor below. So now we've got our 4th floor with all the cables going through the cable trays nicely into there. We've got our 3rd floor with all the cable trays going in nicely into there. And then we've got our 2nd floor where all the cables are coming back up. So the only one we haven't done now is the floor below, so the 1st floor. So again, Now the cable trays in this area are slightly different because we don't have that corridor that we had in the floors above. So actually in this instance, the cable tray terminates differently. So it goes through here, but it now doesn't go through this wall here, right? It comes up this way, goes up there, goes through these double doors, and then into that area. So you can see now. Now what you'll notice is this AP is outside of that magnet distance, right? So that's why it's not going into that cable tray. So what I can do is I can either extend that magnet distance so that now that does go into there, or I can build out an extra tray. So for instance, the tray might come down this way and then across like that. And then again, what we need to have in order for the cable trays to be used is an actual way for those cables to get up to that IDF. So again, if we build in another cable tray with a much reduced distance, we can connect up the cable tray system that we've created to the riser. And now you can see, other than these APs which are below this floor, all of these APs are now connecting into the cable trays, and they're taking the shortest route possible to get to this riser. Now what's nice about that is that when we get to the IDF, if I click onto the IDF, we can then click the power and cabling routes, and we can see now all of these APs, the power that they're drawing, the ports that they're consuming, all that kind of stuff, and also the cable length, right? So we've got one AP here, AP 68, where the distance is slightly over. Okay, so let's go and have a look. If we go up to the 4th floor, AP 68, as you can see, it's going all the way out this way to the furthest possible space, all the way down that riser to the 2nd floor. So obviously there's something we can do. We could either add a switch onto this floor. We can think about, okay, maybe I'm restrained by the fact that because that's the only place where I've got, maybe I can't place this AP in this location and I have to move it out of that space. And then you can do your kind of redesign based on that. I've brought that in a bit now. Let's go and have a look to see if that's fixed that issue for us. If I click on the IDF, have a look at the power options. Oh, it did, but then we've moved another one too far away, 63. So this is a really good way of you being able to see, okay, what issues have we got? What problems might we come into? If I move that down there now, have I solved the problem? And this is why it's important to be able to see what your cable lengths are doing and things like that. We can see now we fixed that problem. There's now no longer an issue. We're going to have a happy customer because everything's going back to the space where we know their IDF is and where everything works. Thanks for your time. See you soon.